think the problem is, and something I've been harping on, is society at large has told everybody that they have to have it figured out tomorrow. And meaning if you get laid off or you have to get the job right then. Right. It's like, no, you don't. Like, we don't know. Like, you don't know. And life is fucking crazy. And guess what? 2020 is 100 and the rest of us are 0 right now. This mother effer is getting real, right?
All central.
But here's the thing is, and I said this earlier on another podcast, all my friends are crushing it. So it really is about, there's a true statement that there are billionaires being built right now that you won't see in 5 to 10 years because they've chosen to not look at this as, dude, yeah, it sucks, but they're choosing to not look at it as a negative. They're choosing to look at it as a positive, and what we're calling separation season. Yeah. And you have a choice to learn from it, understand that maybe in the future you should have a lot of cash reserves just in case. That's a positive thing. Don't over leverage, and network, because it really is about your network and your relationships. And there are people, this is something I deal with all the time because there are people that help me out in my life. This guy I heard this morning on Instagram, he was like, y'all don't even understand, when I become a billionaire, I'm just going to start giving money away. Right. Like, yeah, I love that. And I'm like, wait, that's going to be me too. Like, I'm just going to start giving money randomly to people. Like, and the thing is, this is like, people would go, why would you do that? Yeah, you don't have any idea who helped me out. Like, there are people in my life, meaning Templeton Walker, Matty A, that I will murder human beings for. Like, that's how much I care about these people and what they've done for me on my mindset and everything. Like, and when you have those people in your corner, the rest of it doesn't matter. Right. Because they're choosing to look at everything as a positive, even though we don't all have our great days. Like, but we're gonna say, okay, you know what, today wasn't great, but we're gonna get up, we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do it again. And so, as a young investor, dude, I get it, man. That first deal is a nightmare, and you just want to eat, and you don't want to be turning tricks out on the street. I get it. But if you surround yourself with the right group of people that are talking positive, pushing the narrative forward, I guarantee you that the wheels will start turning. And that's what we're saying, guys. That's the whole conversation, is to keep the ball rolling forward.
Yep. And so going back to the advice for newer investors or people wanting to get into it. So I learned a hard mistake. I was taking all the money that we were making and reinvesting it back into business. New systems, new subscriptions, new employees, new this, new that, all this new shit. But I was never paying myself.
So how were you living?
So we would take distributions every once in a while, but it wasn't like every week or every 2 weeks or every month we were getting a check. It was like, we'll get a check when we get a check. And then we read Profit First, and that changed. Thank God. So that's a big one. I mean, even if it's 10%, pay yourself something, because if you're working and you're doing all this, but you're not bringing any money for yourself, you're eventually going to get burnt out and frustrated because you're not making any money, but you're generating all this activity and all this energy into building something. So pay yourself something. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but if you're paying yourself 10% of the deal that you do, and that's sufficient for you, you got to figure out what works for you and your business. And if you have a partner, figure out what's going to work for the two of you. And that kind of brings me to my second point of defining what your own success looks like. Not what the world is telling you, not what you're seeing on Instagram with the guys with the fucking Lambos and the mansions and these huge 30 people operations. You got to figure out what your nut is. And this is one of the things that I did a few months ago was I laid out my dream life personal budget. It has the car that I want in there, the house, the I want to be able to go and get massages every week, go and shoot guns and take golf lessons and put money aside for savings and long-term savings and rainy day funds and travel funds. And so I figured out what that monthly nut is, and then figured out what I need to make in my business to make that happen. So, a lot of people, I was guilty of it for a long time. I would watch, these big gurus in my industries driving their Lambos and having their huge teams. And I thought that's what success was. I was like, they're making $250,000 a month. That's success. It's not. Unless that's what you want. That's not always success, because that's covering your financial side. But you got to look at, okay, they're making $250,000 a month, but what are they spending every month to get that? Probably $200. So they're netting $50,000 a month, and they're having this huge team. Why can't I just go out and create something where I can make that $50,000 net per month and do half as much volume, 1/10 of the output? It's possible. It's extremely possible. It's just run a smaller, leaner team and generate, systems within your business that you don't have to have all these people, because that's where it's going to kill you, is if you're trying to rev it and you're way overspending. So really defining what your own success looks like instead of what everybody else is trying to tell you what it looks like. Because for me, I'm 25, I'm single, I don't have kids, I don't have any responsibilities besides me and my dog, and I don't have very many bills. Like, I don't need to make $250,000 a month. Not saying I don't want to, I do, but that's chapter 5. I'm on chapter 2 right now, So first, defining that. Next thing I would recommend is getting coached. It might be a little bit more money than you want to spend at the time. I get it. But what if you can shortcut that learning curve from 3 years down to 3 to 6 months, because you spent the money to invest in it? And not every coach is going to be the right coach to hire. You got to look at them and what they have going on in their operation, but also in their life. And I said this on another podcast, is you can look at this guy and he's got a really successful business, but he's a very unhappy fat slob. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you're somebody like me that's very active, very driven, I want to have a balanced life, you'll learn from them how to run a successful business, but you'll become a workaholic, and maybe that's not what you want. So you have to look at the mentor that you're hiring from all around. Is this somebody that I want my life to model after? If I was to become what that person has and we were to swap shoes for a day, would I be happy with that life, or would I just be happy with the income?